Oh man, Super7 just revealed all of the figures that are going to be in Wave 5 of TMNT Ultimates, and not a single one disappoints. We're going to talk about them all today on Geek Dad Life. Hey everybody, and welcome to Geek Dad Life. It's your host, Jay Glatfelter here. I am a big fan of Super7's TMNT Ultimates line, and I've reviewed the first two waves that have actually been released so far and already have pre-orders for Wave 3 and 4. So if you like these videos and want me to do more, hit that like button, and if you want to see when those episodes drop, click the subscribe button and that bell icon. So it seemed like it was going to be NECA's day to shine for their TMNT stuff. They finally had the pre-order for the April O'Neil figure that they've been teasing for weeks now. It's really cool how they had Judith Hogue kind of take us through the updates and the sculpting and the making of the figure. I thought it was really, really cool. But Super7 was like, oh, that's neat. Let's drop this series of figures that continues, to me, their utter dominance for collector level TMNT figures. So I wanted to go through all of them. The pre-orders went live today and break down each one and see what we're getting in Wave 5 of TMNT Ultimates. So this is all from their website. Again, I'll post a link down in the description below. And the teaser photo, the one that's on their Instagram, all their social media feeds, as well as like when you first go to super7.com, is so amazing. Like definitely just like instant buy, click, click, click. So it turned out really, really cool. So something of note with these Ultimates figures, this is the higher price point per figure. It's $55 or $220 for the whole set, up from $45, I believe. But I will say, you know, having gotten these figures in hand and having reviewed them, and you can check those videos out, post the link right here, they're amazing. I think well worth the money here. Yes, the NECA ones come in a bit cheaper, but these are big, bulky, highly detailed, great paint applications, tons of accessories, and they really, really are just fantastic figures for the money, especially considering how much some of them are going on the secondary market. I think they're priced just right for what we're getting. And looking at these figures, and sure, it's the extra 10 bucks, gosh, we're getting a ton of stuff. So I'm gonna go in order of how these are posted on the website, and first up, it's gonna be the Krang, and it looks awesome. I love how we're getting two of total Krang, since really probably alternate head sculpts don't really work since it's just the little brain dude. So love the two different versions we're getting here. You know, it's kind of been funny with this series. You would think I'd be more inclined to the original style, vintage style head sculpts, but in general, I prefer the updated ones, and that is true here for the Krang. I think the old school looking one, I think, looks fine, and I love the articulating point for his little arms. That's awesome. That's a great bonus here compared to the original one. Plus the fact that his android arms are getting different hands, which is great as well. It adds more playability. Plus you get his little rolly kind of stand. That's a nice bonus from that we did not get on the original toy. But I love the alternate Krang that we're getting here with his more open mouth. It's so much more expressive. The paint details look great. And, you know, for a figure that could seem like you're paying a lot for a smaller type figure, especially since Krang is such a small figure, they did a really good job here on giving us a really premium figure, and they did that by giving us two Krangs, one that looks like the vintage one and this really awesome open mouth one, and the details just look incredible here on these first shots. Krang, awesome. Moving on, the one figure that I didn't think I would want or would not be high on my list for Super7 to add to their TMNT Ultimates line would have been the Leo, the Sewer Samurai from the Turtles in Disguise series, an earlier line of figures from that original TMNT line. But oh my gosh, this thing looks amazing. All of the details, but really makes this Samurai Leo for me is the extra head sculpt that has the full-on like extra samurai mask. That is so freaking cool. All of the details, the gold just pops really well. I hope it looks like that when we get it in hand, but just a ton of accessories, a ton of swords that he can all kind of hold on him. Just look freaking fantastic. All the details on the back, the different shell, all the little details on his legs. Like, look at that. That just looks fantastic. And again, looking at the gold and the paint on his helmet, oh, they just look, I mean, again, this was not high on my list of figures that I thought I would want in the Ultimates line, but this thing just really looks amazing. Just I'm still looking at the back because it looks so good. But yeah, really dig this one. And it, it might be kind of how like Bebop in Wave 2 was when I wasn't like, Bebop. Sure, I love Bebop. Gotta have Bebop. But once I had Bebop in hand, I was like, this figure's amazing. The Samurai Leo looks to be the one of this wave. Again, so many paint apps, so much detail, so many accessories that just look fantastic. Again, this figure looks really, really awesome. All right, next up is one of my favorites from the original line when I was a kid. I have always loved Ray Fillet, and this Ray Fillet looks fantastic. The paint applications are incredible. The wash on there, all the muscles look amazing. His fish sticks companion looks awesome. Again, for the original figure, and you have it kind of shown here in the weapon stream, just kind of an orange plastic, but putting all of the paint details on his original accessories and having that extra detail of the sculpts, just I'm just sitting here in awe. And the Ray Fillet figure himself looks awesome. You have two head sculpts here. You have one that looks a lot like the vintage figure, but then you have a kind of open mouth face as well that I think looks really good. I could go either way on these. It'd have to be, once I get them in hand to kind of make a final decision. But gosh, this thing looks like, it even has an articulated tail, which is really cool. The original was just kind of like a rubber plastic, but look at this dude. Just look at him. He looks awesome. Even the belt. Look at the little details on the belt. Just fantastic work. It seems like each time they have another wave of figures, they just kind of outdo themselves each time. Again, looking at the articulating point here on the on his tail. Looks so cool. And the fins look so good, but man, they just look really, really good here in the pictures. And so far having Wave 2 and 1 and 2 in hand, I can almost guarantee it'll be this nice once we get them in hand. So again, he comes in the green box for the good guys. And yeah, Ray Fillet, another stunner. All right, and then the last one here is Leatherhead. And Leatherhead, another favorite from when I was a kid. And this one looks awesome, especially because in terms of the articulation here, if there's one criticism from the original figures is he was so squatty leather, it was kind of hard to get him upright. But here kind of strikes that perfect balance of the extra articulation, giving him the ability to kind of be in that kind of crouched pose because he is an alligator, but kind of be able to be more upright and probably get into more dynamic poses because of that added articulation. The other thing of note here is all the extra paint applications. Like look at his little shotgun. It looks so much better than that red piece of plastic that we got on the original figure. And then also we have the articulating jaw, which makes the need for an alternate head sculpt kind of moot here, because you can open and close it. And again, just look at the details on the shoelaces, the paint there. I hope that ends up on the original one. The belt buckle has that gold paint. That looks fantastic. Yeah, he just looks really, really good. Again, when you just sit and look at the back of the figure and be amazed, that's when you know you got some good sculpting and paint going on. And honestly, every single figure in this wave looks to be doing just that. Again, he comes in the purple boxes, which is generally reserved for the bad guys. And Leatherhead, really dig him here with his mouth closed. And again, it just looks like the original toy was like given life and is be able to move in ways that you never could do with the original action figures. It's what made the Masters of the Universe Classics line so awesome. It's what has made their other Ultimates figures really great, and what has made their TMNT Ultimates line fantastic as well. Especially because those original figure sculpts and design, it was limited in terms of the posing that you could do, especially because those original figures were sculpted in kind of in a pose of some sort. Not as bad as some of those McFarlane figures in the 90s, but still like giving us the ability to really get highly detailed sculpts, great paint applications, tons of accessories, plus the articulation makes this line an absolute win for me. And yeah, these figures look great. I think they're awesome. I'm over the moon. What do you think? Do you think I'm being like way too over the top, or do you think these figures are as good as I think they are? And it seems like a lot of other people on the internet feel the same way as I do, because again, when you can get into the secondary characters or even third level characters or fourth level characters or variants on the main characters and they look this good, I think that's a good sign for this toy line. It's only in wave 5 and hopefully has many more waves to go. So let me know in the comments what you think of this announcement. My live toy talk show that I do Sunday nights right here on Geek Dad Life, it's called Toy Geeks. We'll talk even more about this news and all of the other toy news of the week. And until next time, hasta luego and goodbye.